Hey, what's going on, guys? Back out with another video, and this one's going to be featuring the early round draft strategy. Now, lots of people are saying, who should I take with the whatever pick they have, and should I go wide receiver, running back, right? All that. So I'm going to clear this up in this video so you guys can take a look and know what to do in these first rounds, because these first rounds are very critical in how your season and draft team and league will go. Lots of busts last year, and well, not really bust, but people that didn't live up to potential, like a Le'Veon Bell. He was hurt most of the season, so he didn't live up to those points that someone drafted him and lost a lot of draft value for. And just players like that, DeMarco Murray really struggled, and Jeremy Hill, people like that really didn't really produce what they thought. So I'm trying to give you the best scenario so that won't happen this year. So first, we're going to start off with the standard leagues. I'm going to tell you that most of my thought and everything is going to be coming from my talking. I just have a few pointers here in words. You guys can take a look, but most of it's going to be me talking. So just to know that. So standard leagues, this is what I would focus on. Wide receiver always, but unless a good value, it has to be good value. I don't want you taking let's say, Brandon Marshall in the first round. I think he's definitely a number 2 or second round guy. I don't want you taking Mike Evans in the first round. The only options I would take in the first round are those top 5 wide receivers that you guys, you've seen: Brown, Julio, Odell Beckham Jr., DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green. Those are the only guys I would take in the first round for wide receivers. And that goes if you're drafting first, second, or third in the top 3, always go wide receiver. So I would always go Brown first. I would go Julio second and Odell Beckham Jr. third. So if you're second and Brown's off the board, definitely go Julio. If you're third and just whoever falls, if you're third, basically, I wouldn't go Todd Gurley then, but I would go Todd Gurley at number 4. AJ Green, if you guys look at a lot of his rankings on ESPN, I think he's 12, and Yahoo has him low, I don't know. But he's been falling a lot, and a lot of people don't know about AJ Green as being the really top guy. And I'm tempted to push him over DeAndre Hopkins now as a number 4 wide receiver in all of football now. But AJ Green, I think he's easily top 10 in my rankings. I have him, let me take a look right quick. I'm looking on my other screen. I have him at number 7 on my top 100 fantasy players. You guys can always check that out in the description. All my rankings are down there. But yes, I have him at number 7 before, guys. Now, I do have Allen Robinson at number 10 here, but it all depends on who you guys, who has been taken, who hasn't been taken. And in standard leagues, running backs are a little more featured than they would be in PPR leagues. So just going like that, as AJ Green does fall, so you guys can pick up AJ Green, then that would be awesome, because I think he's gonna have a tremendous year this year. Jamal Charles, now he is ranked way too low, 25th on ESPN's rankings. I think Jamal Charles is ranked a little higher on Yahoo's rankings and all that, but he needs to be taken in the first round, lower end of the first round, maybe around, if you're in a 12 team, maybe around 11, 12 area if still available. But if he's healthy, he's gonna put up easily RB1 stats and top 10 stats in general. And he's going to be very good this season if healthy. I know he's getting a little older. He's turning 30 in December, but I think he's going to have a great year. A lot of people are saying he's going to be a bust because of his injuries. He can't hold up anymore. I think he's going to do just fine. So target Jamal Charles if still available if you're drafting in the late rounds. Gurley, Peterson, Johnson. In a standard league, draft them all in the middle, not top 3 and not bottom 3. I say, like in my rankings, I have Gurley 4, Peterson 5, and I have David Johnson 8. That's where I think they should fall. Somewhere in the middle of the pack there in a standard league. If you guys can pick up one of them and then maybe a wide receiver, that's always great to have. And I'm going to mention this a little later in the video, but never take an RB. If you have David Johnson, you take in the first round, don't take a Mark Ingram or an Ezekiel Elliott or something like that in the second round. You'd never want to have RB because you're stacked on running backs, but then you'll come back and bite you with the wide receivers. Try to stay away from potential busts in your first round, guys like Devonta Freeman, and even guys like, I'm trying to go through here, Jordy Nelson. I'm a big Packers fan, but you never know if that injury or something's going to happen. So that could be a potential bust, but I love Nelson this year. Le'Veon Bell, you never know how he's going to shape out in after his 4 weeks, but I think he'll be fine. Just guys like that. It's more of a Devonta Freeman. Like he's not even in my top 20. He's like at 24. I have him here. Ezekiel Elliott, I have him way down at 16. People are saying first round. I don't think so. I think he's going to go definitely a second round guy. He hasn't step foot on the field yet, so I think he needs to prove something before I'm going to draft him in the first round of my league. So I'd stay away from Elliott. And no Gronk. Now, Gronk on my rankings is ranked 19th, and I think Gronk should not be a first-round pick, and I do believe he should be a late-round second pick, early-round third pick. He's not going to fall that far in your leagues. We all know that, so I would stay away from Gronk. Yes, he's going to put up crazy numbers, but he's having trouble staying healthy this last season. I don't think he hasn't played a full season since 2012 or something like that. You could take guys. I personally like taking tight ends way late in our draft, like the 13th round or anything. You could pick up a guy like, if you're in a 12th team, like a Will Tye, a Ladarius Green, but he's having a lot of trouble with his healthiness lately, so I'm not sure about him. But guys like that, and Zach Miller. So you could pick up guys, and they're going to perform, of course, not as good as Gronk, but you're not losing as much draft value. I think you should pick elite level wide receiver and running backs before you pick Gronk. So I'm not big on Gronk picking him in the first couple rounds. There's never been that person. So now we're going to move over to the PPR leagues. You guys, I am in a half-point PPR, so this falls to me. I love PPR leagues a lot better than standard, but I've always played standard as well, so it doesn't really matter to me. I know both ways. PPR, wide receiver, first 2 rounds, unless an elite running back falls to you. And those elite running backs are Todd Gurley, Adrian Peterson, and David Johnson. And when I mean falls to you, I mean late first round. Like, I don't want you picking Todd Gurley number 4 overall like I have in my rankings. These are more standard rankings I created, but I would take a AJ Green or DeAndre Hopkins number 4. I just stay wide receivers because that's a huge difference in half-point PPR or a full-point PPR, wherever you guys ran. Take guys with tons of value at receptions. Guys like, of course, the top 3 wide receivers, we all know that, but guys like AJ Green, Hopkins, Jordy Nelson, and Evans, they're the main guy on their team, and they're going to get a lot of receptions, and that's always a big plus. Allen Robinson, there's a lot more weapons on that team, like Allen Hurns, Julius Thomas, now TJ Yeldon in the backfield, Chris Ivory. They have a lot of options on that team, so I don't know if he's going to get up near the 90 to 100 range. I think he's going to stay around the 80-ish receptions lane, but he's going to catch a lot of touchdowns, which brings his value up. But PPR, I kind of would target somewhere else and all that. David Johnson, he is very good at catching the ball out of the backfield. That's huge for a running back in a PPR league. So I like David Johnson. He almost passes Adrian Peterson in my PPR rankings, and even Todd Gurley. I have Todd Gurley edging him, but I have Johnson above Peterson because Peterson's definitely not a backfield catcher at all. He's just not that guy. He's all run. David Johnson is a great receiver out of the backfield, so if you can target him as your RB1 and then pick up a great RB or wide receiver 1 in the second round, go for it. I mean, don't be afraid. And that goes well with, don't be afraid to take 3 wide receivers in the first 3 rounds. Now, a bunch of people say, oh, I already have 2 wide receivers, my starters, or my flex. I'm going to go running back. Don't be afraid. If there's an elite wide receiver out there, like a Alshon Jeffrey or even Dez or Mike Evans or something like that, still out there in the 3rd round, pick them easily. I'd hardly think that they would be out there. But guys like Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, Brandon Cooks, if they're still out there, go for it. I mean, the running backs kind of tail off right at the around the 3rd round-ish, and then you could easily pick up a DeMarco Murray, a Matt Jones, someone like that as your RB1, 2. You could even kind of sneak in a Thomas Rawls, Eddie Lacy. I mean, there's a bunch of running backs out there that are going to put up a bunch of points, but in PPR, wide receiver is the way to go, easily. And never, like I said before, never take an RB. Running back in a PPR league, that's just asking for trouble. I mean, you're not taking advantage of that point you're getting each reception, because think about it. If a receiver gets 10 catches a game, I know that's kind of estimated high, but say 10 catches a game, that's an extra 10 points they're getting just on, if it's a full point PPR, just on catching a pass. And you don't get points for getting a rushing attempt or anything like that. So that's huge in a PPR league. And stay away from Gronk, like I said, both ways. Stay where I can grab unless he falls a ton. If he's somehow still available in the late second round, early third round, pick him up. Just pick him up. But he has to fall that far, and it rarely ever happens. I've never happened in a mock draft or anything like that. So that's gonna be it for the video. Um, I, there could be many different ways that people take this and say, well, I love running backs in the first round. People love running backs and say it's the better, safer pick. But I disagree. Wide receivers are less injury prone, in my opinion, because they're not getting tackled every time they catch a ball, or every play. I mean, like running back, every time you run, you're going to get drilled or something like that. And you run like 25 times a game or something like that if you're the featured back. But a wide receiver, you're only catching a ball 8 to 10 times a game, and they're just less injury prone. They're not going to get hit as hard and everything like that. I mean, everyone has potential to get an injury, but injury prone. Wide receiver is a safer way to go. So I'm going to quit ranting here. That's going to be it for the video. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Comment down below any questions you guys still have. Even if I cleared it up here, just comment down any questions you guys need me to answer. Subscribe for a lot more. Season's underway in preseason, and it's just under a month away from the actual season. So stoked for that. I'm ready, and I'm getting you guys ready for your draft. So I'll see you guys in the next one.